on this turmoil in Ukraine, we're joined by William Miller. He's the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. Thank you, William Miller, for joining us tonight.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
I want to start off by asking you now, the embattled Ukrainian president, Viktor Yanukovych, is in China currently on an official visit. Despite all this turmoil happening back home, a lot of protesters calling for his resignation. Do you think it was a good move for him to go to China, or is this a PR disaster in your eyes?
Well, I think the crisis in his country requires his full attention. He obviously decided that he had to go through with scheduled meetings in China. They were very important to his economic program, and leaders have to face those dilemmas. The big crisis in his country requires his full attention. It's a major issue that he has to resolve. The main problem is that his people have lost confidence in the government, and he has to show that he has the wherewithal to resolve the problems that they have raised on the streets.
Now, the president is in China to talk about, loans of billions of dollars, as well as getting the Chinese to help in terms of investment to really help the Ukrainian economy. How confident are you that he's going to secure the help he needs from the Chinese?
Well, I hope that Ukraine is able to receive some significant help from the Chinese. They'll need help from Europe. They'll need help from the United States. Certainly through this very difficult transitional period. But the main problem that Ukraine faces is one of governance. And that's why the people are on the street. It's not because of the failure to come to agreements in Vilnius. Rather, it's a belief on the part of a majority of the people that the government has failed to provide the leadership that's needed at this time. So it's a crisis.
You talk about government.
So it's
I just want to pick up on what you said. You talk about government leadership. Do you think a lot of anger in Ukraine is stemming from the fact that the people are angry that the Ukrainian government rejected that landmark trade deal with the European Union? How much of that anger from the public is really stemming from that trade deal?
Well, I think it was the catalyst. The movement towards Europe is a question of values, of ways of doing things and ethical behaviors. And that's what the people are upset about, that the rejection of close ties with Europe, which majority of the people want, has been lost, at least temporarily. But more importantly, they're delivering a message to the Yanukovych government that the corruption and the cronyism and the failure to observe the rule of law and their constitutions and laws cannot be tolerated.
Ambassador Miller, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate your insight. That was William Miller, former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, joining us there on BizAsia America. Now,